This is my grandfather Walter, and he likes to read Reddit stories.
I didn't know how to title this, but let me give you a backstory. My 37-year-old husband and I, 35-year-old female, raise his 13-year-old daughter in a nice gated community. We are an outgoing family that likes to do fun things like camping and travelling. My stepdaughter and I have a great relationship. She is like a daughter that I never had. My husband had a previous marriage, but that didn't work out because his ex-wife cheated on him and kicked him and his daughter out. Months after his divorce, that's when I met him with his little daughter. It was a horrible thing that the woman did to them. I never met her, but I did see a picture of him and her on their wedding day. The other things he told me was that she kicked him and their daughter out because he wasn't making enough money for their family, and she slept with a guy from a random bar. One day, I was cleaning my husband and my bedroom because we were going camping that day. My husband and our daughter left to get some snacks for the trip. I found my husband's phone on the dresser. I left it where it was because he leaves it at home a lot. I heard his phone ring at the last minute, so I ignored it. My husband and I aren't fans of going through each other's phones. His phone went off again and it irritated me. I know what I said about going through your partner's phone, but I just want to know who called. I unlocked his phone and clicked the caller profile. I'm trying my best to give you guys all the details. I see that the unknown number was texting my husband sweet things, and I could also see my husband's messages. Who was this person? My husband never talks to anyone I don't know without telling me. If I told you guys who was in those messages, you wouldn't believe me. There were pictures of my husband's ex-wife. I am confused. Why is he talking to his ex? I looked at all the messages, even the one when she asked about their daughter. I'm surprised that my husband was still talking to his ex. I got to the end of the messages. They've been talking for 7 years without my knowledge. I'm not sure if it was actually 7 years. Maybe they've talked longer. Their messages contained sexual flirting, like asking about each other's private parts and sex. There were prick pics and her private pics as well. It made me disgusted that he was doing this. If you guys are wondering, it is possible to still have old messages for years longer. And yes, I know what you guys are going to say. She is the biological mother, but I've been raising this girl since she was 3. So yes, I am hurt to find out he was talking to his ex behind my back. I feel really dumb that this was going on behind my back. He told me he wouldn't speak to his ex again after what she did, and I believed him. I am upset that he didn't tell me about his ongoing relationship with her. And there is nothing wrong with her asking about her child, nothing at all, but I feel betrayed by him. Before my husband and his daughter come back, I left with only my purse. I knew we had to go camping, but that was out the door for me. I need to take a break, but it feels like I'm doing something wrong. Am I the idiot? By the way, my stepdaughter has nothing to do with her father's wrongdoings, and I will still continue to love her. For those who think I am wrong for leaving, then I don't know what to tell you. It might scar her if I tell her, but I don't just want to leave without explaining my reasoning. I will update you guys on anything that happens. I will be staying with my mum for the time being. Please give me feedback. I don't know what to do now. Here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Up. I feel for you. You must be devastated. I can't imagine ever trusting your husband again. Protect your money, paperwork, etc., that you will need to start your solo life. If he is capable of this level of betrayal, he is capable of things that may surprise you. Protect your relationship with your daughter. You have rights. She is old enough to know who she wants to spend time with. Don't let your ex use her to keep you in the relationship. Good luck. Please keep us updated. Comment 2. I'm going to the house Sunday to get my stuff and talk to figure this situation out. After that, I might not update for a while because I need to get a lawyer for a divorce and adoption papers, so I promise to keep you guys updated. Thank you to all with the kind words and advice. I wish I could pin this, but I don't know how to. Comment 3. Not the idiot, but please let the daughter know that you are leaving because her father did something unacceptable and that it has nothing to do with her. Also, let her know that you would be open to meet her independently, if that's the case. You just cannot live with her dad anymore. Now, for the next story. Okay. I've known Kate for about 4 years. We met in college, where she started dating her now ex-boyfriend Liam. We're all between the ages of 23 and 25. About 4 months ago, we were out shopping, and she casually asked me if I've ever had a threesome. I told her yes and asked her why, since it seemed super random. She told me she and Liam were looking into having a threesome and wanted advice. The advice I gave her was the following. Don't do it unless you absolutely trust each other, and never with someone you know. We talked a little more about it, but nothing noteworthy. Around a month ago, she asked me to lunch, saying she had something to ask me. She wanted me to be the one they have a threesome with. I kind of laughed and made a comment about how she's not listening to my advice, and she said she wants someone she trusts, and since I'm openly promiscuous, she trusts I know what I'm doing. I went over how awkward it might be for us to be sexual with each other and asked her how she'd feel watching her boyfriend frick me. She honestly seemed fine with it. I told her I'd think about it. Fast forward to 3 weeks ago, she invited me over to her place for some drinks. She asked if I thought more about it. It had been a week, and I said I would under the condition they were both absolutely positive this is what they wanted. So we had a threesome. Everyone was a little tipsy, but no one was drunk, and honestly it was lots of fun. Or I thought so anyway. I'm finding out now that they've broken up because of the threesome. She's basically calling me a homewrecker and a slut and all kind of names. I ended up texting Liam and he told me that she was upset, that he came while fricking me and he seemed to enjoy himself too much. I told him this was a bad idea from the beginning and I should have said no. He told me he didn't know Kate had asked me. He assumed she asked a stranger and was surprised when I showed up that night. I asked if she planned the threesome for that day and he said yes. So I was a little annoyed. During a conversation with a mutual friend, I said if Kate continues to slander me online, I'm just going to frick her ex again to really piss her off. That obviously got back to her, and now I'm the idiot of our group of friends. Ironically, the only one who's defending me is Liam. So am I the idiot? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1, not the idiot. You were invited into their relationship. That doesn't mean you're not going to be painted as the idiot by her, and your remark has now been used against you, which also isn't fair. This will probably all blow over, but it sucks. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Kate is annoying and immature. She knew she was insecure and still decided on having a threesome. I would do the same thing if she does start to slander you. Comment 3. Not the idiot. She's a grown adult and she asked you and you warned her of the risks. She can't complain about the results of her free choice. Now for the next story. Hey all, feeling a bit bad about this one and could use some unbiased opinions. A few days ago, my mum, 57-year-old female, called me up, 23-year-old female, and asked what I thought about planning a family vacation for summer. She had a ton of ideas for what would be a week-long vacation somewhere in the US. My PTO at my job is very limited, and I wasn't sure if I'd rather use it at a different time or for a different purpose, so I told her I couldn't commit to anything for that reason. She got a little upset and asked me why this wouldn't be my first priority. I was honest and told her that it was because our family vacations in the past haven't been fun. For context, I love my mum a lot, but she has always been fairly entitled and controlling. Growing up, if our family was to take a vacation, she would always pick the destination and time unilaterally. No input from my dad or any of my siblings and I, even when we got older. That in and of itself is okay. They were paying for it after all. But on vacation, she's honestly a bit of a drill sergeant. Everyone has to be up early in the morning every day and prepped for all the activities she wants to do that day. Want to sit one of the activities out? Too bad, that's not allowed. According to her, you're ruining her vacation if you do so. Want to eat something she doesn't want you to? Stay up later than her? Or sleep in later? Ruining her vacation. Her rules extended to things like not watching TV in the living room in the afternoon, on the off chance we were all in the hotel house, because the TV wasn't pleasant. Unless she wanted to watch something, of course, in which case drop everything and go park your butt on the couch. We were always just waiting for her next command, never able to take a moment for ourselves. To sum it up, she views each family vacation as her vacation, and if you do a single thing she deems wrong that day, you will suffer. This attitude of hers has continued, even though my siblings and I are all now adults and live on our own. I feel badly for telling her that I may not want to go on the family vacation because my siblings and I all live in different states from her now, so we don't get to see our parents often. She told me that she's disappointed in me for not prioritizing family, which made me feel a bit guilty. However, using almost all my PTO on a stressful and tiring week with my mum does not sound like my idea of a great time. Am I the idiot? Now here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. That's not a vacation, that's friggin' boot camp. Have you talked to your siblings about this? Because you're not children anymore, and your life and time are not your mother's to command. If necessary, talk to a therapist to help relieve the guilt feelings. Comment 2. Not the idiot. She's not disappointed in you. Not prioritizing family, she's mad you're not going to plan your limited time off for a week where you will do everything exactly how she wants. That's not a vacation for anyone but her. Comment 3. Not the idiot at all. She should be able to be sensitive enough to see that others aren't enjoying themselves as much as she is. She also should do some introspection when you told her why. She's being very selfish. Now, for the next story. My husband told me he despises me. When I enrolled our son in school, he was 6. His birthday is after the cutoff, September 1st. They said he could go into 1st grade or kindergarten. Well, I felt as though it would be better for him to go into kindergarten, 4th grade now. My husband said I've messed up our son's future for doing this. I don't think I have. He understands more, grasps things quicker, is always at the top of his class, and he's more mature. He will graduate at 19 instead of 18, and he's behind a grade. I'm at a loss and hurting. Am I the idiot? I also posted this in True Off My Chest edit. When I went to enroll him, I didn't know I would have a choice, and they wanted a decision right then, so he wasn't part of the decision because he wasn't available. So I did what I thought was best at the time. Edit 2. I graduated at 16, went through different programs and did dual enrollment, so that could be an option for him. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. My wife and I had to make a similar decision with our daughter. It came down to the fact that we would not regret our decision to hold her back, but we might regret sending her early. She just turned 16, is a sophomore in high school, and is absolutely killing it. My mum sent me early. I graduated high school at 17, and looking back, I know it was a mistake. I did well scholastically, but my maturity was definitely behind. This is a sad reason for your husband to despise you. We're all doing our best. Comment 2. Yeah, getting top grades, being advanced in sports, and being the first one in the class who can drive will destroy him. Asterisk, dramatic eye roll asterisk. Either your husband is stupid, or he despises you for other reasons, and is using this as an excuse. You need to decide if you choose to communicate and figure out what the problem is so you can work on your marriage together, or walk because you won't subject yourself to a relationship where you are despised. Comment 3. I'm confused about how he'd be 19 when he graduates. He'll be 18 when the school year starts in September and will graduate in May or June before he turns 19. I've also never heard of being able to skip kindergarten and start in 1st grade. Is this common? Now for the next story. My 43-year-old daughter started dating a boy who is 15 years old. He is a sweet boy. My wife and I like to keep our kids feeling safe to tell us anything. It is harder for them to tell her stuff, so sometimes I compensate for that. One day my wife was coming home late. My daughter came to my room and asked if she could talk to me about something. I could tell she was nervous and embarrassed. She told me that she wanted to do something with her boyfriend, but she doesn't want to get pregnant. And that she doesn't know how to start things. We had a long conversation about this. We talked about everything regarding sexual activity. And I'm glad I did, because I realized how little she knew about some stuff. She didn't realize that boys can be uncomfortable too, how consent is very, very important. She didn't know how to know her safe days, hygiene, how being mature about it affects sex, etc. I gave my daughter condoms, advised her to buy others if these weren't fit, and told her to stay careful and safe. She smiled and thanked me. That night I was talking with my wife when I mentioned our conversation. She was confused and said that she felt this conversation was very inappropriate. We argued for a while, but I didn't want to keep on arguing, so I joked about how we are short of condoms, so maybe we will have a baby. She was confused, then she realized that I had given some condoms to our girl. She was mad at me for giving her condoms, and the green light to have sex without asking her. I felt like I was wrong for not asking her, so I apologized. Am I the idiot? Edit 1. I crossed out safe days. It was an inaccurate information. Edit 2. TY guys for your nice comments. Your comments still are very helpful, plus your compliments made me happy. And future thanks for the people who will come later to give their opinions and advices. Edit 3. About my wife. Some of you got it the wrong way. She isn't a bad parent. She's actually a very nice person. Communication with kids isn't one of her strong points. She sometimes loses her patience or gets hard on things, but she's trying her best. She felt it was an inappropriate conversation because it was impossible to have these types of conversations with her. And my parents, hers were a bit tougher. Sex was taboo. Just like many parents, she felt weird about our daughter being sexually active. Comment 1. When a kid wants to have sex, they're going to have sex. The only real questions are, will they use protection and have sex in a safe place? You have at least given her the tools to have sex safely. You should also take her to her gynecologist to get a prescription for birth control pills. Many parents are uncomfortable with their kids growing up and doing more mature things, but the reality is that it's inevitable, and your best course of action is to educate and guide. You're doing it right. Not the idiot. Comment 2. I was a leader on a youth camp out. I was asking over to a bunch of boys around the campfire, and I stopped when I heard them talking about sex. Apparently you can't get a girl pregnant if you do it standing up. You do it while she is on her period. If she is pregnant, look up superfecundation. And others I can't recall. I walked over and said, "Do you know what they call a guy who tries that, daddy?" The lack of sex education is appalling. Comment 3. Not the idiot. I think it's amazing you have this relationship with your daughter. Your wife may feel jealous that she didn't come to her. As a female, I think I would want my daughter coming to me first, but I'd be proud she came at all. And looking back on my teen years, kids are going to do it whether you want them to or not. It's better that she is safe thanks to the condoms you got her and knowledge you provided her. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. If you liked. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.